Okay, so we're going to first talk about the energy that's stored in the spring, and we did it for every single one of our cars, and if you want to see, here's our videos right here, all three. Anyway, this is energy stored in the spring. We did this by doing the contortion wheel, and then what we did is we changed the numbers in the spring constant and did basically what was on your website. Anyway, so Lina found out that her energy stored in her spring was 0.24314 joules. And then Faith found hers was
0.697228 joules.
And mine was 0.24516 joules. So after that, we decided to just draw a force diagram for all the cars, and it's pretty easy to figure out what it's doing, and this is basically all that it's going to do. And that should be the sum of the forces, so this should be the force that you should have, and that should all be all it is. Now we're going to go into the graphs to find out the rest of the information. Actually, let's play the videos first. So this is
mine. My car. Oh, my car is for distance. So you can see it goes very slow and far.
And it keeps going and going and going and going. Okay, so
this is my car, and I made it for precision, and for it to go 15 feet, and it did, almost.
Okay, so the last car is my car, and it is for speed. It doesn't really go too far, but it goes fast, so that's why it's for speed, obviously. Okay, so now that you saw all our videos, we had a problem with Faith's video. We couldn't have Tracker track it, so she just used my video to make her graph. So this is Faith's graph.
Try to close it. Start over.
It is increasing, and then it's decreasing. The min speed is negative 2.206, while the max speed is 0.047. And the slope, which is the acceleration, is speeding up.
Wind speeding up.
The wind is speeding up. Is negative 2.119 meters per second.
Slope speeding down.
The slope here is speeding up. Speeding down at 2.143 meters per second.
Okay, now we're gonna go to Lina's graph.
Okay, so my graph just increases, and then it decreases a little at the end. And then the slope for acceleration is speeding up. Is 0.01733 meters per second squared. And the slope for speeding down is a negative 0.1132 meter per second squared.
Velocity, max velocity.
The min velocity is negative 6.625, and the max is 2.90. That's all.
That was a loud crash, just like that.
Okay. Moving on.
Okay, so for the last graph, as this should be pretty similar to Faith's because it is my same data. So first we're gonna go with max and min velocity. The max velocity is 0.04743, and the min is negative 2.206. And then for when the car is speeding up, the slope is negative 2.119, and the slope for speeding down is 2.143. Okay, so we're gonna talk about other things that were on the on the rubric actually. So what haven't we touched on? Oh, the mass of the car. That's on your this rubric.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about the mass of the car. So I think I had that actually on one of the pages. Oh man, I deleted it.
Just kidding.
No, I actually had it. There, see? Mass of the cars.
Okay.
So we decided to find the mass of the cars using the force sensor, and we found that my car was the lightest. It was 8.91 newtons, and you found this by finding the force and subtracting it by 9.8.
My car is pretty heavy. I had 26.76 newtons.
And mine was 10.3 newtons.
And speaking of Faith's car being the heaviest, it was originally supposed to be the car for speed, but because it was so heavy, it didn't really go fast, but it went far. And I was supposed to be precision, but we ended up switching because her car was slow.
And I went farther than her.
Yeah. So, what else is there to talk about? Oh, the displacement of the Mousetrap car. That is basically how far it went. You can find that by finding the area under the velocity graph. So for the case of mine, the distance that it went can be found by finding the height of the triangle times a half and the base. So I don't know how much this is. It's because our graphs aren't perfect, so I don't know how I would exactly find the exact amount, but you should be able to find an approximation. Yeah. Let's see. Is there anything else we didn't talk about? There's also, through this information, you can find an energy flow diagram, and you can basically say that at the beginning of all these cars, they don't have any speed, they don't have any kinetic energy, so which would mean that would all be an elastic energy because it is in a spring. And so you would have to find out that because of how what mass we found, and we did find the force of the spring, we would be able to find the max kinetic energy and E dis at the same time because they would be the same number. I just forgot to actually do that. But I explained it so it shows that I know how to do it.
That's the most important part.
Yeah, it's about learning, not the actual work.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the rest of it is, I think we've covered it all. And that's
Yay.
our little video.
We're done.
Done.
Bye.
Show.
Bye.